Good afternoon. My topic is the impact of the multivariant remote work model on knowledge management in enterprises, applied tools. I wrote this article with Professor Dorota Jelonek, and I will show you how important is this topic nowadays. The article presents the scope of issues related to knowledge management in models, assuming the performance of work outside workplaces and tools used to disseminate knowledge transfer. And my approach to knowledge transfer tools in remote work models is becoming crucial. And on this basis, a research issue was formulated which concerns knowledge management in hybrid work performance models and ICT tools which are used. The research objective is to assure knowledge transfer in businesses and identify the most effective ICT tools used by employees to manage knowledge in the enterprises. And all research show how respondents are aware of the importance of knowledge sharing within organizations, and they see also benefits and barriers. Their comment of knowledge sharing tools, on the other hand, is very moderate. And I have on this slide, I think, a short literature overview. I will just describe in a few steps. So first of all, the hybrid model. The aim of hybrid model is combine elements characteristic of office-based work and performing duties as a part of remote work. And the important goal is to provide the employees with an opportunity to decide how they will perform their work. And of course, we have also a lot of advantages of hybrid work. For example, this work-life balance, and also employees can decide how to just do their duties at home and also at work. And knowledge management is becoming increasingly important to modern businesses as a foundation of the human resources management strategy. And nowadays, not so many companies have the strategy how to combine the knowledge management and hybrid work model. But as a result of the end of the industrial area, some of the most important assets are knowledge, information, and intellectual capital. And knowledge transfer support tools within organization include, for example, document circulation system, for example, workflow, that allows for circulation of documents from different sources, but existing within one system, which all employees involved in a given processes have access to, for example, SAP solutions. Also a system aimed at supporting group work, which enables joint performance of tasks or projects in distributional structure on a hybrid work model. And also an expert system that enables the use of available knowledge and related decision making. And also e-learning platforms which give us solutions to monitoring and reporting progress result, the remote learning of employees. And in this article, I create a model between knowledge management and the hybrid work model. And here we have input such as knowledge, sharing knowledge, and transforming knowledge. And this is, and we have also output like knowledge acquisition, better information flow, commitment and job satisfaction. And we have this in this model also these ICT tools, which are necessary to just to have this hybrid work model in companies. And for example, it's software, for example, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, email interactive platforms, and also very important resources such as computer or mobile phones. And when we have these all elements, this knowledge management can be implemented in a hybrid work model. And what are the model assumption? First of all, knowledge is the strategic and the most important pillar of a business. Knowledge exchange takes place among employees working in a hybrid model. Knowledge has a multifaceted dimension. Managing knowledge is a process consisting of its creation, transfer, implementation, sharing, and transformation. And it's very important that knowledge is not only information, but also value, emotions, view, and experience for employees. And ICT tools absolutely affect the transfer of knowledge between employees. And without these ICT tools, I think that transfer is not possible. And how about objective and hypothesis of article? So first of all, objectives are assessment of tools used by employees during hybrid work, the hybrid work model in business, and also knowledge transfer in businesses. And the hypothesis of research are knowledge sharing has a significant impact of employees of companies. Hypothesis 2, the use of ICT tools positively impacts the use of knowledge in businesses. And hypothesis 3, knowledge management depends on the multivariant model of remote work adopted in the article. And how about the research methods? I conduct analysis of subject literature. Analysis of the subject literature was conducted. Literature was conducted using the desk research method, utilizing secondary sources. Their objective was to prepare a research tool for conducting apprehension analysis. And also quantitative survey was conducted, which include such steps as like a prepared online survey was used in the research tool. The survey was conducted in the March this year, and selection of the research sample was random. The study was animals, and participation it was voluntary. The questionnaire consists of 20 questions and a metric. Some of the questions were open, asking the employee to provide an individual answer, while others were closed questions with the option of choosing one of the several answers. In the survey was taken by 239 respondents. And it should be noted that the research was carried out after a wave of COVID pandemic, which lasts from January to February this year. There is a return of employees to stationary of hybrid work model observed in the companies. And how about the results of the conduct studies? The research showed that implementation of hybrid work model is still an early stage. A significant percent of respondents who took part in the survey continue to perform their work in stationary models. Knowledge management in enterprises is a key process. Flexible and continuous flow of information enables employees to efficiently perform their tasks. Respondents noticed that importance of and necessity of knowledge sharing in favorable conditions. They pay particular attention to openness and trust on the part of employers, They easily identify the benefits of openness as well as the barriers to knowledge transfer between colleagues. Digital tools play an important role both in the hybrid work model as well as knowledge management, which enable knowledge transfer in the hybrid model. Studies of this research, some prove that respondents noticed that importance of programs such as Microsoft Teams, Zoom, or Click Meeting as a basic tool used in performing their duties outside the employer's premises. They state their knowledge of the software at a moderately good level, which means that they use these tools only for occasional meetings. On the other hand, in the global perspective, the tools used to disseminate knowledge in the organization are primary interactive platforms, which include LMS, learning management systems, or e-learning platforms. So I think that it's the future is for LMS, which can be implemented in companies. The results of the research conduct related to adopt multivariant remote work model in relation to knowledge management in businesses are as follows. Employees use ICT tools to perform remote work in order to transfer knowledge. These include Microsoft Teams, Zoom, interactive platforms, social media, and electronic devices. The respondents work in a stationary work model while they expect a hybrid model. Knowledge exchange between employees flows best the employee-employee relationship and the manager-employee relationship. Respondents notice many sources of knowledge management processes. These include acquiring knowledge through training, sharing knowledge, or acquiring it from customers. Sharing is the first step forward to implementation and dissemination of knowledge sharing culture. And how about my hypothesis? So hypotheses 1, 2, and 3 were positively verified. First hypothesis, knowledge sharing significantly efficient employees. The respondents believe that the knowledge sharing process is a fundamental element in establishing interpersonal relationships, building trust and openness. It is a process that should encourage companies to build a culture of knowledge sharing among employees. The second hypothesis, most respondents believe that performing tasks in a hybrid work model is an effective and efficient solution, while 44.8% of respondents continue to work in a stationary model. The hybrid model allows for individual work, but also the opportunity to meet the team live on days that are scheduled for presence at the workplace. And the third hypothesis regarding the relationship between knowledge management and multivariant model of remote work adopted in the article was, of course, positively verified. According to the conduct research, the model created the purposes of this article was reflected that respondents answered the survey questions. And conclusions, the direction of conduct research indicates dissemination of a knowledge sharing culture in organizations. Knowledge is a multi-phased element. It's not possible to early determine its components. It also encompasses emotions, feelings, values. Important contributing factors include the workplace atmosphere and a sense of trust. The study is limited by the fact of including and randomly select research sample working in companies of all sizes and industries. The study has an illustrative dimension. In the perspective of further research, they should be carried out in specific companies in order to be able to analyze how such companies approach the hybrid model and knowledge management. Thank you.
Thank you very much for very short and very interesting presentation. So as usual, short time for discussion.
So I have a question about the respondents to the survey. What was their background or what kind of companies they were employed from? Because I think that the results may be very different if you look at people who work in IT and let's say people
Yes.
who work in governmental organizations.
So the respondents are very random. It was some kind of the first research. So I don't find I don't have respondents for each company. Yes, it was very random part of these respondents.
This random group.
Yes, yes.
Considering
I think that the next research should be conducted in a specific brand.
One remark, I think that's also interesting issue to study the influence of the willingness to share knowledge. Because once we might have tools, might have technology, there may be some managerial actions to promote this, but then on the other hand, to see what blocks people and if it's more like technological barrier or psychological barrier, it may influence also the results.
Yes.
Thank you. Perhaps on behalf of online participants, I'd like to ask you about other tools which can be included to generally to tools essential in knowledge management. Namely, you focused on communication tools, so
Yes.
Teams and the others. But what about, for instance, tools supporting projects? Because knowledge management very often is connected with some projects. So can you consider also including those tools?
Yes, in this article, I focus on this communication tools. As I say, for example, Teams, Zoom, Click Meeting. But I think that in another article, I will think about these tools which can use in projects.
There is some additional group of tools, especially I suggest to analyze what you may find in knowledge management toolkit. Amrit Tivana wrote it about it. So there are, apart of what I say, there are also some additional. Thank you very much.